Hello everyone, Riff Raff Hornhelm here again with another review. Today we're going to go back into the world of 5e. It seems to be the most popular one on the people who are responding to us. And this time it is a tiefling sorceress. So a female tiefling sorceress with a very unique background and some unique adventures that come along with that part, both on the epic success side and of course the epic failure side. So without further ado, I will turn you over to our reviewer and we'll talk to you after the review. Take care, everyone. So here I am telling you about a very strange character today. This is a sorceress, a tiefling sorceress. She's 9th level and her name is Kahrush. And Kahrush is a sorcerer who is from a not so nice family. This is, I know, not necessarily so common with tieflings, but apparently it's an evil family, and her sorceress abilities are somewhat based on, I guess, that kind of background. She's always been hampered in her sorceress abilities because there's a ritual or a requirement, less of a ritual, more of a requirement, that she has to perform in order to release the energy and the magics that were part of her family heritage. So she, in terms of appearance, is very nondescript, wears a cloak, and really trying to be outside the mold of her family based on some forest friends that she had when she was very young growing up that her parents weren't aware of at all. She has more of an inclination towards good and doesn't want to perform the ritual, or, well, I guess however you want to look at it, the deed or the ritual that's required for her to tap into those extra powers. So what is that? Well, it is kind of nasty. Well, what does she have to do? Well, that's kind of yucky. What she has to do is she has to slay an enemy where she has evil intent. She wants to do this. This is really important to part of it. She's not defending herself. She's actually mad and therefore slays an enemy. And then she has to drink at least 1 drop of blood from that enemy in order for her to release her heritage. That could have some negative feedback, as you'll find out, if that were to ever to happen. But she doesn't want that to happen. So she's spent her entire life trying to avoid that and just use the limited sorceress powers that she has, her thaumaturgy and so forth. But it does restrict what she can do. Now, because she's tried to shift what she's doing, it has allowed her to spend more time with people who are on the good side. Specifically, she falls in with a group of 7 paladins and does some adventuring with them together, having a good old time. Now, her family, of course, had a lot of enemies over time, and one of her enemies, also another evil entity, if you will, turned out to be one of the creatures that her and her 7 paladin companions went after. During that battle, which was an epic battle, I'm sure a tale worthy of listening to all in itself, but it happens that one of her close paladin friends is killed by this creature and falls to the ground. And her, in a rage, grabs the sword of this paladin, which normally would reject her. But because of the circumstances and her burning rage for vengeance and justice, she was able to pick up the sword and rolled a 20 right into the side of this creature, killing it, saving all her companions. That was the epic success, which unfortunately was immediately followed by the epic failure. as she shook the blood off the sword after having killed this evil creature, a drop splashed up into her mouth, and she licked it off with her tongue and swallowed it. That met the conditions for her to be awarded the rest of her family heritage, all the power, which was frankly pretty evil. And as that washed over her, it changed her from being a relatively good character to an instantly very evil character. And the sword in her hand rebelled, shattering in a retributive strike. That strike not only killed her, but also killed 5 of the remaining paladins. So that was a pretty epic fail. But shows you how you can go from highs to lows in a very short period of time. So that was pretty epic in both a success and a failure. So in talking with the Hornhelm colleagues out there, we asked them, hey, what do you think about this from a success standpoint? What do you think about this from a failure standpoint? From a success standpoint, we're saying that's probably about an 8. There was some argument to go a little bit higher, but we settled on 8. And from a failure standpoint, we actually think that that was even better than the success. So we actually gave that a 9. Now, overall, looking at this character and what they were trying to do and measuring them as we would look at it from a player standpoint, the overall opinion on this character is an 8. So the overall that you end up with on this is a 25, and that's very, very, very respectable. You had a 9 for the fail, an 8 for the success, and then you had an 8 again for the overall. Very impressive. Now, one other thing I left out of all of this is who sent us this wonderful character. The person who did this particular one is a person by the name of Brenda, and she sent this to us from the Houston, Texas area in the US of A. And we really appreciate having had the opportunity to review this character. We really gave you a lot of points here, Brenda. I think it's a very awesome character. At the same time, in talking with all my Hornhelm colleagues, hell no, stay the way away from our party. We see you as kind of a walking, ticking time bomb. So the fact that you've perished, rest your soul in peace, or pieces, or whatever. We think it was a very awesome character, but a little too dangerous. So, any case, thanks again, Brenda, for sending that in. Take care, everybody. We'll see you again soon. And remember, I'm Red Hornhelm. You're not. So what did you think of that one? Kahrush was certainly an interesting character and had some interesting things happen. And really, I can't say too much about the assessment of not wanting her in the party. It's kind of like a walking bomb. Of course, she's no longer with us, so bless her poor deceased heart. Interesting character. We thank you very much for that submission. And folks, if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Subscribe, share, tell your friends, talk to everyone, make sure they know. And join us again next time on the Dwarven Vault. Thank you so much, and remember, dwarves rock!